Merry, 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 merry Christmas. La 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 la. Have yourself a Merry Christmas. Oh, deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel. La 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 la. Troll each in Yuletide carol. La 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us. La 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus. La 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 la. Follow me in merry measure. La 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure. La 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 la. Fa la la la, fa la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes. Fa la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses. Fa la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together. Fa la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather. Fa la 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 la. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel. La 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la. Fa la la. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Remember me,
Do 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 do.
though I have to say goodbye. Remember
Do
me,
do 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 do.
don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you
Each night we are apart.
Remember me,
Do 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 do.
though I have to travel far. Remember me,
Do 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 do. Each time you hear a sad guitar,
know that I'm with you
the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me, remember me. Remember, I have to say goodbye. Remember, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart.
sing a secret song to you
Each night we are apart.
Remember me,
Do 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 do.
for I will soon be gone. Remember me.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being with Hospice of Santa Barbara and our 38th annual Light Up a Life. We're so grateful to have you with us this evening. And I have the pleasure to introduce Reverend Julia Hamilton, the lead minister at the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. Julia was born in Santa Barbara and has lived throughout the United States before returning back to her native city in 2011. She is a graduate of Harvard Divinity School and was the executive director of the Unitarian Universalist Legislative Ministry of New Jersey. Julia sees her work from a place of nurturing a multi-generational community through love and justice, and bringing people together in building a more compassionate world. I love that. Julia, thank you.
Thank you, David. I am so honored to be here as part of this year's virtual event. Thank you for the invitation to join you, and welcome everyone to this shared experience, remembering those that we love during the holidays. This is a treasured annual celebration. And once again, due to the pandemic, we are holding this event virtually so that everyone can stay as safe as possible during this gathering. Thank you to the Dos Pueblos Jazz Choir and Courtney Anderson, their vocal director, for the lovely music leading into our event today. One of the special opportunities at Light Up a Life is so that you can know that you have community during this time of year, so that you can feel yourself connected to others who are grieving the loss of loved ones, to know that you are not alone and that we are stronger together. If you'd like to say hello in the chat is open. You can say where you're coming from this evening, reach out to one another, be that network of support that helps us hold each other during this season. This year, our theme is unity. With everything that is happening in our world, we thought it was important to bring people from all of our Light Up a Life communities together tonight, from Santa Barbara, Carpinteria, Goleta, and Montecito, together where we can share in the celebration of our loved ones. In honor of this coming together, we have special conversations with members of our Light Up a Life communities talking about what Light Up a Life has meant to them, to their communities and their loved ones who they remember each year. We will also have uplifting conversation with our partners from Radio Bronco about what Light Up a Life means in the Spanish-speaking community. And you can find our traditional trees of remembrance at the Camino Real in Goleta, at the Upper Village in Montecito, at Seal Fountain in Carpinteria, and the Libero in Santa Barbara. This is where stars are hung every year in memory of those we've lost or been separated from. So go ahead and pay a visit to one of our trees this year. Like last year, we've also continued with our virtual tree. This is an opportunity where many of you have uploaded photos and special messages and memories to your loved ones. You'll see some of these virtual stars at the end of our program. And you can still go to hospiceofsb.org to put up a virtual star in honor of your loved one, and that will stay shining throughout the year. Now I'm going to pass it back to you, David, because I know a lot of people helped make tonight possible.
Yes, thank you so much, Julia. All of us at Hospice of Santa Barbara, our board of directors, our staff, and our 100 plus volunteers consider Light Up a Life a community event for everyone from all backgrounds, all ages, and places. We have been gathering in our community with this tradition for 38 years. I know for me, first attending 29 years ago, I, like so many of you, have added more stars from the loss of family and friends over these many years. The holidays can be a particularly poignant and tender time as we think about those close to us who have died, those who live in our hearts, in our memories, both good and difficult, and their true essence of what makes up our lives. Some of us are feeling a more recent death, while others here tonight are reflecting on a loss from long ago. This past weekend, when I was in downtown Santa Barbara, a woman approached me on the sidewalk, her eyes filling with tears, and she began expressing gratitude towards our work at Hospice of Santa Barbara, sharing that she and her 3 children had lost their dad, her husband, 5 years ago. She spoke so vulnerably and with a deep sense of clarity about her family's journey of grief. When we parted, I took a couple of deep breaths in the night air and felt simply blessed by this woman sharing her story of grief and courage and resilience. I am absolutely sure she is participating with us here tonight, right now. So tonight, we gather here virtually and we remember their names on the stars that have been placed on trees in our community. This second year of the pandemic has truly shown the fragility of life and so many things we hold dear. But particularly, it has shown us the importance of human connection up close and personal. Tonight, we also hold the loss of almost 800,000 people in our country and over 559 people in Santa Barbara County to the pandemic alone. We think of their families in our hearts. Thank you all for gathering together to honor this very important tradition. I have the true pleasure now to introduce Adriana Marroquin, my friend and colleague at Hospice of Santa Barbara, who will share an important message in Spanish, and there will be English subtitles. Adriana?
Thank you, David. Muy buenas noches. Es un placer darles la bienvenida esta noche. Yo soy Adriana Marroquín y soy la gerente de iniciativas de la comunidad para Hospice of Santa Barbara. Y creo que, igual que muchos de ustedes, yo también espero el regreso a la normalidad con ansias. Este año, de nuevo, nos ha desafiado. Continúa la incertidumbre y creo que el único constante que hemos tenido es el cambio. Pero yo soy una de esas personas que me gusta ver las cosas del lado positivo. Y digo esto con certeza porque creo que este año nos ha hecho ejercitar el músculo de la creatividad y la adaptación. Yo lo he hecho en mi vida personal y también he visto a muchas personas de mi alrededor también adaptarse. Les comparto que mi abuelita de casi 90 años ya puede manejar su propia cuenta de Zoom solita, o sea, ya no nos necesita. Y creo que es una marca de que todo está cambiando, ¿verdad? Y Hospice de Santa Bárbara realmente nos ha quedado atrás. Dentro de todos nuestros programas hemos visto una adaptación increíble, no solamente de nuestros clientes, pero también de nuestro personal. Dentro del programa de consejería de duelo, hemos visto un aumento en las sesiones que proveemos a comparación del año pasado. También muchos consejeros dentro de las escuelas están regresando a convivir en persona. Claro, siempre con cautela y siempre siguiendo las recomendaciones para mantenernos todos seguros. Nuestro programa de cuidado del paciente también ha visto un aumento en el número de personas que están activos dentro del programa. Tal vez es porque más personas han retomado su vida cotidiana normal, es decir, que ya asisten a sus citas médicas con más frecuencia y como resultado ha incrementado la necesidad de ir a la farmacia. Nuestro equipo de cuidado del paciente y nuestros voluntarios se han mantenido muy ocupados. Les comparto que este año fue el año en el cual se han utilizado más nuestros voluntarios dentro de toda la historia de Hospice de Santa Bárbara. Así es que un aplauso, por favor, para todos ellos quienes hacen este trabajo sin esperar nada a cambio. Y por último, nuestro proyecto de Mi Vida, Mi Voz, el cual apenas estaba en su infancia el año pasado y cual ha crecido exponencialmente. Este año vimos un crecimiento en el número de recursos que compartimos, en el número de colaboradores y en el alcance que se pudo lograr, no solo en recursos de necesidades básicas, pero también en la planificación anticipada de atención médica. Me enorgullece muchísimo ser parte de este hermoso equipo. Y antes de cerrar, me gustaría compartir una reflexión personal. Recuerdo que el primer año que yo participé en este evento, aún teníamos ceremonias en persona y esta que les voy a compartir era en Goleta. Recuerdo que justo antes de tomar el micrófono, yo me enteré del fallecimiento de un tío muy querido. Y recuerdo esa noche porque se me dificultó muchísimo llevar a cabo mi papel de trabajo cuando mi vida personal se acababa de derrumbar. Recuerdo que se me hizo un nudo en la garganta, creo que lloré en el escenario, realmente no pude terminar o decir lo que quería decir esa noche. Pero también recuerdo que el momento en el cual yo bajé del escenario, allí estaba mi compañera, esperándome con un abrazo para consolarme, porque ellos se habían dado cuenta que algo estaba mal. Y les comparto esta historia porque me imagino que si usted nos está acompañando hoy es porque ya pasó por algo similar. Y les quiero recordar que no están solos, que hay una comunidad presente, ya sean sus amigos, sus familiares. Si estuviéramos en persona, todos los que están viendo este evento hoy, ¿verdad? También su familia de Hospice de Santa Bárbara, quienes siempre estamos disponibles para ayudar. Porque la pregunta no es si ya te pasó, sino cuándo te pase. Así es que los invito a que utilicen y recomienden todos los programas de Hospice de Santa Bárbara, porque creo que todos recordamos lo solito que se siente cuando perdemos a un ser querido. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos de nuevo, por compartir a sus seres queridos y de todo corazón espero que disfruten esta noche. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Adriana. Music is an important part of our celebration every year, and we are delighted to have John Vale singing with us once again. Originally from the Philippines, John Vale is a trained medical doctor and currently working at Cottage Hospital as a clinical scientist. He sang and traveled the world with the renowned University of Santo Tomas Singers, the only two-time grand prize winner of the Choir of the World and the Pavarotti Trophy. This is his 7th year singing with us at the Light of a Life events, and he will be singing Autumn Leaves.
Oh, je voudrais tant que tout te souviennes des jours zéro et nous étions amis. En sortant là, la vie était plus belle et le soleil plus brûlant qu'aujourd'hui. Les feuilles mortes se ramassent à la peine de voir. Je n'ai pas oublié. Les feuilles mortes se ramassent à la peine. Les souvenirs et les regrets aussi. Et le vent du nord les emporte. Dans la nuit froide de l'oubli, te voir, je n'ai pas oublié la chanson que tu me chantais. The falling leaves reflect the window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you mais la vie sépare ceux qui s'aiment tout doucement sans faire de bruit. Et la mer est passée sur le sable. Les bras des amants désunis.
Thank you so much, John, for singing with us, and we look forward to hearing from you again later on this evening. In our theme of unity, we've invited special conversations with representatives from the 4 communities that are coming together this evening to ask them to reflect on what Light Up a Life means to them, who they're remembering this season. And we've invited Joyce Dudley, Sharon Byrne, Ann Pazier, and Tina Finucchi-Frontado in conversation with Hospice of Santa Barbara's Charles Caldwell.
Good evening, everybody. It's so wonderful to have you join us for this year's Light Up a Life celebration. And we're especially excited to have the 4 of you join us, representing communities in our local area. And so to get us started, I just want everybody to introduce themselves, maybe share what community you're representing, where the remembrance tree for your community is located. And Tina, I'm going to start with you if you introduce yourself.
My name is Tina Finucchi-Frontado, and I'm representing Carpinteria. And our beautiful tree is at the Seal Fountain right there on Linden Avenue in downtown Carpinteria.
Wonderful. Joyce, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Joyce Dudley, and I'm representing Santa Barbara, and the tree in Santa Barbara is in front of the magnificent Libero Theater.
Wonderful. And how long have you been involved with Light Up a Life?
Boy, I would say around 10 years.
Great. Thank you, Joyce. Ann?
I'm Ann Pazier, and I have the good fortune of representing the good land, Goleta, and the beautiful tree at the Camino Real Marketplace and restaurants and our farmers market there. And I've had the unique privilege of watching that giant tree be built this year.
Wonderful. And Sharon, how about yourself?
I'm Sharon Byrne. I'm representing Montecito, and our lovely tree is in the Upper Village on the green, and it's in front of Pierre Lafont, which is where the community convenes for coffee and conversation. So it's in the perfect spot with a beautiful mountain backdrop behind it. And I've been involved with Light Up a Life since you introduced me to it, Charles, 3 years ago.
Makes me feel grateful that we can come together for Light Up a Life. As you think about Light Up a Life, and Joyce, I'll start with you this time. What does Light Up a Life mean to you? Why is it important?
When I think of Light Up a Life, I think of those who we've lost. And when people often draw the analogy that when the person dies, there's a dimmer switch. And that dimmer switch goes, and then there are memories, and it gets harder and harder to remember what they looked like, what they sounded like. And when you think about Light Up a Life, what it means to me is it means putting that spotlight back on that person, bringing them back to life, lighting up a life. And I think that ability to do that reminds us that we have the ability to love and be loved, which are the 2 greatest things in the world.
Who will you be dedicating a star to this year?
Still can't say it without crying. My husband, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Tina, what's it mean to you?
Unity. I think grief is that thread that binds us all. And to have space where you can be your authentic self in that moment and not have to be on, and can sit with all of it that comes up during holidays, particularly. I get it all year round, but holidays can be extremely difficult. My brother's been gone almost 30 years now, and there's days like it's still yesterday that I feel it. We as a country, we're not real educated on how to manage grief, not just for ourselves, but for others. And I think Hospice of Santa Barbara does a phenomenal job giving us a space for that.
The star that you'll
Oh,
dedicate
the
this
stars.
year?
So, of course, my brother, Stephen Enrico Fanucchi, my mother, Rosemary Fanucchi, and my father, Nilo Fanucchi.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you. Anne, what are your thoughts about Light Up a Life?
We arrived at the doors of hospice 13 years ago when we lost our daughter, Brooke. And so when I entered into the holiday season, it had just been about a month since that had happened. And a holiday that we celebrate, at least, is all about an arrival of a baby and preparing room for it. And it was especially difficult. And for anybody that's listening that is going through that, I completely hear you. This is a difficult holiday when you're grieving the loss of a child, certainly. But we also, my son was 5 at the time. And so I felt like I was, and that's the magic of Light Up a Life, is that it's a time of year when everybody is supposed to be so happy and so joyful. And it's hard to figure out where to put your grief at that time. You walk into a Christmas party, you've definitely got to park that somewhere. But I loved gathering with a bunch of other people that it felt safe to be enjoying the holidays, but also through tears and through remembrance. And I will never forget the first star when we put Brooke's name on the tree, and my 5-year-old son was with the group of kids that got to flip the switch, and it was magical. And it has become just part of our tradition every year. And this year, we certainly will put Brooke's name on the tree, but I have a name, and I knew there was going to come a year when we had to put her name on the tree, but my friend Tara Holland Ford will be on the tree this year. And I know that she has really made a big impact on this community in so many deep ways. But I think she would love to know that she's on that tree, and anybody that wants to put more of her name on that tree, you can never get too much of Tara.
Thank you so much. And Sharon?
Those are hard acts to follow. So like everyone, I lost someone this year. I will be putting a star on the tree for, and you're all making me very misty right now. I will be putting a star on the tree for my father, Desmond Byrne, who passed in February. And he was the consummate English gentleman, knew everything about anything in the world, just a living encyclopedia, so much fun to talk to. And I will forever miss at least Sunday calls with him, right? Where I got a chance to say, what's going on in Tunisia, and so it's just, he just kept on top of everything. So that was hard. And right after he passed, my poor cousin lost her father. So my dad and my uncle went within very short time of each other. And so Light Up a Life has a big, important meaning for me. I have to tell you that the placement of the Light Up a Life tree in Montecito is absolutely flawlessly perfect, because the Montecito skies are very dark at night. Very dark at night. And so you're driving up the road and you see this sparkly little Christmas tree, just out on the green. And it's, sort of in the middle of this very dark night sky, very dark community. And it just looks like a little sparkle of hope over there. And you just want to kind of go over there and get next to it, right? I mean, it's like a little uplifting kind of a thing, right? For me, all of that, the light kind of in the darkness, the symbolism of all of it, it's a beautiful time of year to do this, and it's a beautiful ceremony and a great way of giving you a space and a container to pull that love back into your life and just be so grateful that you ever had it, right? And to remember that person.
Well, thank you all for being willing to share from your heart about those that you love. It's what Light Up Life's really all about. Individual journey, our family's journey, and that we do it together. Thank you all for joining us, all of you. Thank you.
Each and every one of us gathered here this evening has a story. Each and every star on our trees has 100 stories behind it, 100 memories of love and life that we carry with us into this gathering this evening. And here tonight at Light Up a Life, all of who you are is welcome. All your grief and all of your love and all of your stories have a home here in this community tonight. Thank you so much for being here and sharing these stories with one another. And if you'd like to see more of the conversation that we just shared, it will be up on the hospiceofsantabarbara.org website soon. I am delighted to introduce our next speaker, Perry Longo. Perry is someone I've known practically my whole life, and she leads the bereavement and poetry writing group at Hospice of Santa Barbara since 2003. What attracted Perry to Hospice originally was the support she received after the aftermath of her husband's death. Perry is a marriage and family therapist, a registered poetry therapist, and was Poet Laureate of Santa Barbara from 2007 to 2009. And she will be sharing her poem, The Missing.
Thank you so much, Reverend Julia. I'm so happy to be here with you and everyone from Hospice. It's an honor I truly love and appreciate. I've been doing a writing group for bereavement at Hospice for many years. And I bring in a poem published by an author that, of course, has something to do with grief that I've found in an anthology, or that, people send me a lot of poems because they know how important this work is to me and us and all of the people who are in the process of grieving, which is a lot of us. So we read the poem and we find ourselves in the poem. Where are you? What does this have to do with me? And then people feel not so alone, and they feel safe in this cocoon of words, so to speak. And they write and they share, and it's a very healing journey for everybody. My attempt tonight is a poem called The Missing. It's a pantoum based on an old French form, which repeats every line twice in alternating stanzas. And I thought it was a good form to try for what we're going through right now, because this is our second virtual Light Up a Life. And another reason is these cycles of life just keep repeating themselves. Day, night, fall, summer. And this poem is called The Missing. It starts with a 3-word haiku by Raymond Roseleaf. Light, lights, light. When our loved ones let go their last breath, it's never the right time. Pushes us to the edge, as if the lights have gone out. Left us groping in the dark, looking, reaching for those missing, hopefully soon back. Never the right time. Death pushes us to the edge. As if that's not enough, the virus locked us inside, looking, reaching for those missing, hopefully right back. Then out of nowhere, our faces returned in frames of light. Though the virus locked us touch-starved in place, our eyes and voices connected to many we missed. Strange as it is, we appeared again in frames of light, the wide darkness allowing grief to speak. Our eyes and voices connected to many we missed. I think of our ancestors who huddled around fires, told stories that chased off the cold, so grief could speak under stars, in the language of light, lighting life. Reminded of our ancestors who huddled around fires, we too repeat the cycles, year upon year, under stars in the language of light, lighting life, so that even the missing draw near. We might see them in the flicker of a child's smile, though we still push away the dark. And suddenly within our hearts, love creates a light that endures long after our loved one's last breath.
Thank you so much, Perry. It's wonderful to hear you read your poetry in your own voice. We turn now to Jose Fierros and Ali Cortez. Jose and Ali are going to share with us about grief and gratitude in the Latino community at this time of year. Jose Fierros is the program director at KIST-FM and hosts a daily show on Radio Bronco and La Musical. Ali Cortez is the founder of Bienestar Latinx, a community platform that transforms and dismantles generational trauma in order to heal future generations of Latinx folks through authentic leadership development and cultural healing. She has been a part of the Santa Barbara response team for 5 years.
tal? Muy buenas noches. Gracias a la reverendo Julia. Muchísimas gracias a Hospice of Santa Bárbara por hacer este evento, ya el número 38, para recordar a un ser querido que ya no está con nosotros. Muchísimas gracias a usted que nos está viendo. Gracias. Salud con mucho gusto, Ali Cortés. ¿Cómo estás, Ali?
Ay, súper, súper contenta de estar con mi bella gente hoy y estar pues aquí compartiendo estos momentos juntos. Muchas gracias. César.
Sí, un evento que sirve como para iluminar la llama de ese ser querido que se nos adelantó en el camino, pero que sigue presente en nuestros corazones, en nuestra mente, por supuesto. Así es que muchísimas gracias otra vez a ellos, a Hospice, por invitarnos a este evento. Yo el año pasado compartía la memoria de dos de mis hermanos que fallecieron cuando yo era chico. De hecho, uno falleció al nacer, mayor que yo, así es que pues, no lo conocí. El segundo tendría yo algunos 8 años, él tenía 16 cuando falleció y bueno, pues ha sido siempre como el recuerdo de un ser extraordinario, una persona muy inteligente, muy estudiosa, muy capaz, que bueno, solo Dios sabe para los que creemos por qué suceden las cosas. Y recientemente un tío muy querido, hermano de mi mamá, que también falleció. Entonces sí, como que en estos momentos y en este evento se vienen la avalancha de recuerdos, ¿no? De esas personas, de seres queridos que ya no están con nosotros allí, pero que de alguna forma siguen presentes y mientras nosotros los tengamos presentes en nuestra mente, en nuestro corazón y en nuestros actos, seguirán vivos.
Absolutamente, José. No, y gracias por compartir y a todos que estamos aquí, pues sintiendo, ¿verdad? Hablando, estamos en una temporada donde hace frío y también nuestras emociones están pues como queriendo un calorcito. Y yo
Sí.
sé que para recordar a nuestra bella gente, yo hablando de tus familiares, son leyendas. Para mí, ahora tú contando esas historias son leyendas para mí. Yo sé que cuando mi tío pasó este año, fue muy difícil porque él era alguien que nunca se daba por vencido. A él, allá en mi bello México lindo, tenía su tiendita, siempre, siempre tenía su tiendita y siempre que llegaba, siempre me daba, llegó primero chocolate y ya con crecí más grande, me dijo, aquí más quesito porque sabía que me encanta el queso. Y esta vez que sé que cuando voy a regresar o si puedo regresar, que no lo voy a ver y duele, pero la
Sí.
leyenda que me dejó y los valores de que cuando algo le pasaba a su tienda o le decían, estás loco, ¿por qué vas a hacer tu tienda? Ya te la robaron, ya no lo hagas. Él decía, "Ujú", y él lo hacía de
Sí,
todas maneras, con ganas y
sí.
siempre con sonrisas.
Sí, de acuerdo. Y se viene esa avalancha de ideas y de pensamientos, ¿no? Y quizá yo comentaba el otro día, de repente hasta nos invade eso, de que quizá pudimos estar a la altura o no de ellos, de sus circunstancias. ¿Qué los hizo especial? Por ejemplo, mi tío era una persona muy amable, siempre muy servicial, siempre dispuesto a ayudar a la familia, ¿no? Siempre con una sonrisa, con una buena cara. Nunca le vi un mal momento y seguramente los tuvo como ser humano, todos tenemos momentos, pero él nunca lo dejó saber, él siempre fue muy amable y de repente estuve yo a la altura y a lo mejor hasta es normal, ¿no? El que te sientas un poquito, a lo mejor pude haber hecho esto o pude haber hecho aquello mejor o pude, no haber dejado simplemente pasar la oportunidad de hacerle sentir qué tan especial era para nosotros, ¿no? Pero bueno, pues seguramente él lo sabe donde quiera que esté, ¿no? Sobre todo para los que somos creyentes de que pasamos a una mejor vida y bueno, seguramente él sabe qué tan especial era para nosotros.
Claro que sí, porque la luz sigue aquí, ¿verdad? La luz, la leyenda, sus valores, lo que podemos hacer en este tiempo y todo el privilegio que tenemos de vivir todavía es seguir con esos valores y dárselos, ¿verdad? A mí me encanta hacerlo con recetas, a mí me encanta, no sé, ustedes, a mí me encanta la comida, a mi tío me encantaba la comida. Y por ejemplo, mi cafecito de olla, ay, o sea,
Ah,
qué hermosura tomar ese café de olla y recordar a mis raíces, ¿verdad? La gente que ya ha pasado, pero también pensar, hay gente que viene. Entonces, ustedes ya me
ujú,
conocen, ¿verdad? Yo siempre ando hablando de la salud mental y pues traemos
sí.
trauma generacional, pero ellos nos dejan las respuestas para sanar y seguir sanando y seguir saliendo adelante. Ellos nos dejaron eso a nosotros y nos hacen con comida. José, ¿cuáles son las comidas que te encanta pues comer durante este tiempo y estar así con como reconocer y vivir las memorias de tus queridos?
Sin lugar a dudas, nuestros antojitos tradicionales, nuestros platillos tradicionales que son los tamales que no pueden faltar en esta época, que es el pozole que nos gusta mucho a la familia. Yo creo que esos son los dos principales. Hay muchos más, por supuesto, el mole y las enchiladas, pero yo creo que pondría en primer lugar los tamales y el pozole.
Ay, sí, qué riquísimo, qué riquísimo. Y qué bonito pues poder celebrar así, tener la fortuna de cuando si tenemos, podemos tener eso en nuestras mesas y recordarlos. Y esta es la oportunidad, bella gente, que tenemos cuando estamos presentes con los jóvenes que están en sus teléfonos, ¿no? Que
Ujú.
están escuchando, entonces contar las historias. Así, yo no conocía a mi bisabuelita, Angelita, pero sé que le encantaba bailar y le encantaba la Navidad. Y yo la vivo y no la conozco, no la conocí, pero la vivo conmigo. Entonces, fue por eventos como estos, que en la Navidad o el Año Nuevo, los Reyes Magos, que
Sí, qué
hablamos
bonito.
de eso, ¿verdad? Y las tradiciones y sentirlo, llorar, sacarlo. Yo sé que luego a mí me entra mucho la tristeza a pensar en mis tíos y lo siento, incluso ahorita lo estoy sintiendo y cuando lo hablo me siento mejor. Cuando lo comparto con alguien más me siento un poco mejor.
Sí, es una forma de mantenerlos a ellos presentes, ¿no? El compartir lo especial que eran ellos. Entonces, bueno, pues sigamos adelante. Muchísimas gracias a Hospice Santa Bárbara. Felicidades por este evento, por invitarnos, a ustedes por ser parte de esto y mantengamos entonces la llama viva de ese ser que tanto queremos y que sigue presente con nosotros.
Exactamente. Feliz Navidad, corazones.
Gracias, felices fiestas.
And now we welcome John Vale back to sing with us once again, Fall on Me, while we look back on memories of past Light Up a Life celebrations.
I thought sooner or later the lights up above will come down in circles and guide me to love. But I don't know what's right for me, I cannot see straight. I've been here too long and I don't want to wait for it. Fly like a cannonball straight to my soul. Tear me to pieces and make me feel whole. I'm willing to fight for it and carry this weight. But with every step I keep questioning what is true. Fall on me with open arms. Fall on me from where you are. Fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light. Presto una luce ti illuminerà, seguila sempre, guidarti saprà. Tu non arrenderti, attento a non perderti, il tuo passato avrà senso per te. Vorrei che credessi in te stesso, ma sì, in ogni passo che muoverai qui. È un viaggio infinito, sorriderò se nel tempo che fugge mi porti con te. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami. Fall on me, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai, finché vorrai. I close my eyes and I'm seeing you everywhere. I step outside It's like I'm breathing you in the air. I can feel you're there. Fall on me, ascoltami. Fall on me, abbracciami. Fall on me with all your light, with all your light, with all your light.
It is my pleasure now to introduce a friend and colleague, the Reverend Kristen Rahm. Reverend Kristen Rahm is the spiritual care counselor for Hospice of Santa Barbara. She is a Unitarian Universalist minister, and after 7 years serving congregations, she is pleased to be at Hospice, supporting individuals and families with life-threatening illnesses and end-of-life issues. Kristen?
Come into this circle of care. Come into this time of love and grief. Come into this community of compassion. If this is your first Light Up a Life ceremony, welcome. May it help you on your healing journey. If this is your second or your fourth or your 10th, welcome. May it help you honor your memories. In my family, we are grieving the loss of our favorite uncle, Uncle Bill, who died last month. And we also feel the fresh round of grief it brings back for those who've gone before him. It is good that we have come together this evening, united before the mystery of death, as humans have done throughout time and across religions and cultures. Together, we name our loss, we feel our sadness, and we lean into the support of those around us, those who understand in some small way the depths of our grief. I light this candle, which we use at each Hospice of Santa Barbara staff meeting when we acknowledge the deaths of those we serve. With this ritual, I draw each and every one of you into the care of our community. From Carpinteria to Montecito to Santa Barbara to Goleta, all are held in our circle of compassion. If your grief is new or is feeling raw and overwhelming, I'm glad you are here. Know that your intense feelings are safe among us. I am here. All of us at Hospice of Santa Barbara are here to walk alongside you for as long as it takes. You are not alone. None of us are alone this evening with our grief and our remembrance. I bring you these words from Barbara Peskin. Often, we are found in our grief and comforted, calmed by some kindness, brought alive again by beauty that catches us undefended. Even when the sun is most thin and far, even when the storm of our despair is at its height, we can get through. We are held in an embrace, invisible but infinite. Small joys and great sorrows pass, and we, with steps uncertain, move with all creation toward wholeness. For we are continually seen, heard, held by life, by love. And part of what brings us here this evening is love. That may sound surprising, yet the truth is we feel this bereft sadness, this loss, precisely because we have loved so deeply. This is true for each of us here tonight, and for everyone in the human family who cares for another. It may not make our own grief easier, yet there can be a comfort in knowing that this burden of loss is shared. It can also be a comfort to remind ourselves that even in the midst of our despair, we are held in love. It is always there, a thread we hold on to in the darkness. This love weaves us together with family and friends, and slowly, slowly leads us back to the land of the living. As Rebecca Parker writes, there is a universal love that has never broken faith with us and never will. So may that be a comfort. Take it in, rest in that love. It is good to find ways to rest. For the way of grief is long, longer than we want it to be, and full of messy and unpredictable feelings. It is not easy. And it's been made harder by the COVID pandemic. For we're tired, aren't we? Weary beyond words from these nearly 2 years of loss and uncertainty. And each time we think we're through, another variant arises. This exhaustion, it makes carrying the weight of our grief even harder. So I invite us to rest. Rest for this moment tonight. This can be part of what December brings with its short days and long nights. And we hold this Light Up a Life ceremony each year in December in acknowledgement that grief is made harder in the dark and harder during the holiday season. So let us not try to force ourselves into festivity if that's not where we are. Let us rather find ways to pause, as all of nature does in December. Seeds are resting in the earth, the trees release their leaves and are resting in their roots. So let us take a breath and rest in the care of this gathered community. And with the pause, we might allow ourselves to be enlivened by some beauty, like the songs that John sang, like the beautiful tree, the laughter of a child, the softness of your pet's fur. Let these and other small bits of beauty in, allow them to bring a bit of comfort. Small things do help, for they remind us that the darkness changes. It lightens bit by bit and day by day. That is the message of hope the winter holidays can bring to us. So many religious traditions have celebrations in the darkest time of the year, and those celebrations center on light. Hanukkah, winter solstice, Christmas, Kwanzaa, all have rituals with candles. All acknowledge the power of light to ease our darkness and to return us to hope. This message is for all of us, whether we are religious or not. All it takes is one small candle to shift the darkness. There's power in the light to fill our weary hearts over and over again. There's power in the light, slowly lengthening each day. So my friends, please take in the beauty and let in the light. And if that feels hard or nearly impossible, because right now loss has broken your heart, or there are cracks in your spirit that may never mend, I say to you these words of Leonard Cohen. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And so in a few minutes, we will light our tree, symbolically lighting the lives of all of those beloveds we are here to honor. Let that light in. Invite in the light of those dear ones, the light of their laughter, the light of their quirks and special qualities, the light of their wisdom and all they taught you, the light of the joy of having known them in your life, the light of their love. Let in the light and the love. It has never broken faith with us, and it never will. May it be so.
Thank you, Reverend Kristen, for your kind and caring words. Well, we are reaching the culmination of our event this evening, and that is, of course, the lighting up of our tree and the countdown that will lead us up to that moment. So all of us together watching are going to be able to participate. So wherever you are joining us from, I hope you will join us in our countdown to our tree lighting.
Indeed. Let's all do this together, even from your homes. Let's start at 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love the way they shine. I love the way the stars shine on that tree, David. Truly, it's beautiful with everyone's stars on it.
I hope you'll get a chance to stop by and visit some of the trees in our communities over the next few weeks. And there's still time to dedicate a digital star if you would like to honor a loved one on the Hospice, santabarbara.org. You can find ways to put up memories and photos and share a digital star of a loved one. Thank you all so much for attending this annual tradition, and thank you to all of our presenters and all of you who make the work of Hospice of Santa Barbara happen. We're going to sign off for the evening. We are wishing you a wonderful and warm holiday season.
Indeed.
And we are going to leave you with some of the photos and memories of our digital stars that people have dedicated, set to music composed by local musician and Hospice of Santa Barbara supporter Manny Figueroa, La Vida Bella. So good night to everyone, and peace to you wherever you are.
Thank you.